Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of this yearly review for Imperial Diplomacy Championships. My name is Starcat Lazuli, and let's jump into it right where we left off with fall retreats. I did decide to go to Astrakhan, like I mentioned, with the army. I know that technically, if you're just thinking tactics, it's probably better to disband this and then choose after I see the retreats if I want to build the army here or somewhere else, maybe up here to the northeast. But I decided against it, and we can quickly move on to the winter start here. I was talking quite a bit with Ottoman here, trying to urge some armies to be built up and push against Safavid, and same deal with Safavid, trying to urge them to push against Ottoman. My main point here was that, I'm going to retreat to Astrakhan with my army in that fall retreats phase to make it explicitly clear to you that I will not be building a fleet on the Caspian Sea. And then because of that, I want your commitment to help me out and prevent this Ottoman +9 from continuing to balloon. So no fleet Tehran, no fleet Tabriz, just build up some armies here and let's push in together. I was talking with Ching a little bit as well, Buzzard over here, and they asked me not to build in Bratsk, but they did say they were okay with an army over here, if necessary. I was going back and forth a little bit, trying to decide, do I want to build an army on the east in Krasnoyarsk, or do I want to put all 4 of my builds over here on the west? I definitely want to build Arkhangelsk, Novgorod, Kharkov, and I'm thinking either Verk or Krasnoyarsk. It's really in between those two at this point. We have Uzgen down here stranded, and I don't want to just leave him for dead. I'd really love to pull them back to Turkestan. So initially I'm thinking Army Verk, support myself back into Turkestan, but then I just keep looking over here. These 2 lonely armies defending 4 dots, that is just asking for trouble. So I do decide I'm going to omit the Verk build and build an Army Krasnoyarsk instead. Arkhangelsk, I'm going back and forth for a little bit on if I want army or fleets. And my main thinking is that army is really nice to get into Karlia. Army Novgorod also can go into Karlia, and fleet is able to move into Barents. Potentially, I can move Army Moscow up to Arkhangelsk, and then Fleet Arkhangelsk to Barents, Fleet Barents to Norwegian Sea, and I can convoy myself into Finnmark. Now, this means going another year without taking my Spitsbergen neutral. It's risky. England did approach me around this point asking for Iceland. And I said, yeah, of course you can have Iceland. That's no problem at all. In fact, how about we try and get you into Christiana? And yeah, we both agree that this is probably a good play. Sweden is only +2 here, and as we saw in the last episode, pushed over to Kola and Karlia right off the bat instead of taking the Narva Precorps neutral and also omitting the Trondheim Precorps neutral. And as a reminder, Sweden did say, like, this is a death war between us. Right in just after we saw the spring moves. It was very frustrating. And now Sweden is trying to walk it back. Like, oh, we should really just go against Poland, which is what I was originally saying to him, Barkadas. I was originally saying, like, let's take out Luxon, the Polish player here, because Luxon, number one IDR. Now Sweden is basically telling me that exact same thing. Like, look, we gotta take out Poland. Poland is doing very well, and they're all set up to keep growing. It's like, okay, well, this is exactly what I told you last year, and well, look where we are now. Why should I trust you now? Um, so it's frustrating. We're at a bit of an impasse, and oftentimes I just go a full day without talking to Sweden at all. 'Cause I would rather talk to people who are like actually listening to me. There's a bit of tension going on around here with Ming. Reminds me. So Ching here was talking about building up some units in like Hohot and pushing down against Ming, and I'm telling Buzzard here that I can move into Temeds, like build an army up here, move into Temeds, while they go into Gobi Desert and here. We have a really good attack setup on Turfan. Support me into Turfan, and then next year I'll support you into Lanzhou. If you're able to get, kind of an unexpected stab in here, you might be able to take Lanzhou next year as well. So let's take a look at next year. Let's take a look at the winter builds, and we see Fleet Tehran. Very upsetting. Very upsetting. So it's also Fleet Trebizond. Now that Fleet Tehran really makes Fleet Kharkov a misplay. At this point, it'd be better if this was an army, but hey, I bought it, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So last year, Safavid supported Ottoman into Kabardia, taking that dot away from me. Shame on you. This year, Safavid builds Fleet Tehran. Shame on me. So I'm telling GameCube here, playing Safavid, I'm telling him, like, at this point, we're just in a fight. I don't know what you want from me. Really disappointing to see this, because now this is also indicating to me I'm probably going to lose both Turkestan and Uzgan, and then Verk is going to be in danger next year. But with the Fleet Kharkov, I can't even hold Astrakhan. It's just like, you move into Caspian Sea, and then you can either go Bayuli or Kalmykia, or even this Kabardia just supports the Caspian Sea fleet into Astrakhan in the fall. And there's nothing I can do about that unless this was an army. If it was an army, I could cut the support here, but that's not the situation we're in. I have essentially signed myself up to bounce Sea of Azov, and I'm considering bouncing Shapsburg. It really depends on what Poland wants to do here, and as you can see, Poland has no fleets in the Baltic at this point. It's disappointing, but Luxon, the Poland player here, he told me that it would just be too obvious of an attack if he builds fleets now. So he's just going to take Riga, hoping for my support into Riga, and then, next year he'll attack Sweden, I'm sure. Okay, awesome. England, I don't have the player's name, but she asked me for support into Christiana, and I say, well, yeah, I can totally do that. We can get you into Christiana. I move into Norwegian Sea. I support you into Christiana. You can either do a fleet here or an army here. Like, let's pincer attack Sweden. And I'm telling Poland the same thing. this is a really great opportunity for us to push up here. You can at least take Copenhagen, right? Lübeck to Sound, Berlin to Lübeck, depending on what's going on with Austria and the Dutch too. Any other surprises? I don't think so. Oh, it was really nice to see Czech's empty. I have not been talking to you a whole lot, but if you take a look at this, Athabasca is just suffering. And a few of these provinces have been going back and forth between Athabasca and Inuit for a while. So I'm really happy to see that at the least, I think Yakutsk is safe. This extra army buildup, I'm expecting this to probably move into Nuvix to Aldan, and then support Buzzard supports themselves into Evenki up here. That'd be ideal. It takes the heat off me, and I'm making this clear to them. Yakutsk will help you out and do what you want, but Ching seems kind of indecisive, so I am considering sending my army west and try to do more support on this attack into Tumeds. There's, of course, the risk that Turfan goes to Zaisen while I go to Tumeds, and then I lose Krasnoyarsk. I always struggle to pronounce this. Krasnoyarsk, I believe that's it. I'm probably butchering it still. And, we got Army Hohot. Really good. Really glad to see that. Look at this. 4 Fleet Tokugawa. That's fun. That's really fun. Okay. Lots of fleets in the Black Sea now. And I think we are ready to go on to spring now. So this is spring 1643. No, sorry, this is the start of it. Here we go. Here's the moves. Now, I was telling Safavid, come on, at least no Kalmykia. We can work together. We can get Kavardia. I know what I said. Fooled me twice. Shame on me. And here I am lining myself up for another one. But this was unavoidable. I could either cut the support or try and bounce nothing. And this felt a lot safer because, of course, there's the risk. Kabardia just goes straight to Astrakhan, and Ottoman appears to be the primary one I'm fighting, just in terms of press. Now, let's look up here because Sweden totally backs off. Kola to Finnmark is important, so now it looks like Kola is going into Trondheim, and then Karlia into Abo to Narva. I am moving my army into Arkhangelsk away from my Ottoman front, and this is very risky, but I'm hoping that I am able to support myself into Karlia, and now with these 2 units moving west, I might be able to support myself into Kola, or even get off that convoy that I was talking about. The convoy into Finnmark looks really good here. But, again, I would be leaving Spitsbergen opening, and that is a fall convoy into a province without an SC. So I would be sacrificing another build here. It's risky. Here we see Safavid supporting himself into Uzgan, while Mughal has this crazy 3-unit bounce that's getting nowhere. At the same time, Ming lining up to put some pressure on Mughal. Now, I move down into Tumeds like this. Now, this is super unfortunate. Qing has just stabbed me here. Orgu moving to Outer Mongolia and Hohot moving to Gobi. Really, the key indicator here is that Turfan is supporting this move up. So, Qing and Ming are working together to put some pressure on me. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. If I go to Outer Mongolia here, then I have another 3-unit bounce, which would be really good. But even Yaktus going all the way out of the way, all out of the way up here, this is not good. This is not the position I want to be in. Much better to be in Beryaira here, as then I have a chance to snipe Kikihar. Now, no longer. I now have 3 hostile units around Karakoram, and only 2 that are able to defend. So, at this point, I talk to Ching and say, hey, you got me, good play, good stab. I will let you into Karakoram uncontested. I'll allow you to claim that. No problem. All I want you to do is have Gobi support Karakoram into Turfan. You do that, right? I'll have 2 meds also support that move, and then it'll be a 3 strength attack on Turfan. I will take Turfan. You take Karakoram uncontested from Outer Mongolia. No problem. Ching does not respond to that. So I'm left kind of scrambling that I'm going to lose Turkestan, I'm going to lose Astrakhan, I'm going to lose all of my Black Sea provinces down here. At least Poland is being nice. This is interesting. Targoviste and Kiev bouncing in Jassy. But Oshikev is just holding. This is strange. This might be an indication that it was planned out as, like, in a way that Luxon, playing Poland, can say, hey, look, I tried to move my units in to attack Ottoman, but it didn't work. Well, like, what is this army doing here holding? It makes it seem planned. So I'm not convinced that Poland is ever interested in fighting Ottoman here. Instead we're seeing Krakow to Silesia. This is a much more aggressive push. Ruthenia, Transylvania, 3 strength on Pressburg here, and Austria is in trouble. I can see your true colors. You don't really want to attack Ottoman. There's kind of this 3-way scuffle going on here, but I don't see Ottoman Poland as fighting nearly as much as I see Ottoman Poland teaming up to attack Austria, with this side, my front, being a sort of ruse to throw me off a little bit. But I don't have much of a choice. I am losing these 3 provinces. I have already lost Uzgen. This is forced disbanded. Because the Herat to Hisar here. And then Verk is in danger next year, right? Now, it certainly does not look like I am going to have an opportunity to build unless I have a lot of retreat disbands. Now, I have 1 retreat disband right here, but this is neutral because I'm also losing Uzgan. If I can lose these 3, Bakshersi, Kharkov, and Astrakhan, with disbanding every unit that I have there, while taking Spitsbergen, then I'm +1 in terms of how many units I can build, even though I'm still -4 in terms of how many SCs I'm on. So this is not looking good. This is a terrible spring. My only solace is that Yakutsk is safe. No problem. Whew. One less thing I have to worry about. I have Spitsbergen guaranteed, of course, and I just want Sweden dead. I am so pissed about Barkada's moves here. Like, yes, okay, I can see you backing off, but just this total defensive stance, and we're not gaining anything. Like, this is a good opportunity for us to come to peace in press, but our press is just constantly butting heads with each other. Meanwhile, I really like England. I really want to support her into Christiana here. It's and Poland is in my ear talking about, oh, just get me into Riga. I'll build Fleet Wilno. I'll build Fleet Gdansk, and we'll push into Sweden. This is probably where we should see the next maps. So spring retreats. Of course, I have this forced disband here. I don't think there are any other retreats of interest. I take the disband. We go into fall moves. So I receive this press channel being opened by Austria, and it's called something along the lines of marriage counseling. And Austria tells me, like, you star and Barkadas up here, you need to make up. You need to stop this pointless fighting. Let's actually go against Poland. I'm there saying, oh, well, yeah, this has been the same exact thing I've been saying for years. And after, particularly after the first phase of the game, where I pitched this whole plan to Sweden with the same premise, we gotta take out Poland, Sweden turned on me, and it's really difficult for me to trust him, even though the armies have now backed off. So, like, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out in a way that I can still support England into Christiana. England's telling me Edinburgh is convoying in. Okay, let's give it a try. And Poland is also telling me, support me into Riga and I'll build those two fleets. Okay, let's give it a try. I want to reach some kind of peace deal with Sweden that is compatible with both of these other things. Now, that's obviously going to be hard to do. I think it's pretty likely Narva wants to go to Riga here and Abo wants to go to Pskov, but then Pskov could go to Abo and capture the pre-court. So maybe instead of that, Abo goes to Karelia. And Austria pitches the peace deal between us, a bounce in Karelia, me just taking Spitsbergen, Sweden taking Trondheim, and yeah, Kola DMZ. And I think that's it. Oh, there was one other thing. Sweden and Austria were both very vocal that I should be supported into Riga. I do not trust this. As much as I am desperate for dots, I'm only getting 1 dot this year. I'm losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots this year. I really want Riga. It's such a tempting offer. But no, I do not trust Sweden to actually put that support in. Why? Why would he? We've been fighting all game. Yes, we have these armies moving away, so maybe it's like a tribute, right? But I'm not doing so hot. I think it is much more reasonable for me to get on Poland's good side and support Courland into Riga, like Luxon is asking me to do. So after all this press that I'm getting from Sweden and Austria, I kind of ignore Austria. I don't send any messages in that group chat that they opened together. Instead, I just reach out to Sweden directly and say, okay, let's come to peace. I will move Barents Sea into Spitsbergen instead of convoying into Finnmark. That's what I tell Barkadas. And then he sends me this long wall of text about how, we can do a bounce in Karlia, or we can do a bounce in Pskov, but maybe he just holds Abo. He doesn't really want to give away his moves in case I want Pskov to walk into Abo. And then he reiterates that, like, let's make this work. I'll build 3 fleets or something. +1, +2, and then I don't know, maybe taking Kiel, maybe +2. Or maybe moving down to Riga and going in like that. But that seems more unlikely because Sweden is worried about the East provinces here, and Sweden is also, again, really pressing home this idea of Pskov to Riga with Narva support. I don't buy it. I do not respond to the rest of that press. Now, there is something super interesting that happens just a few hours left in press on this fall phase. I am super stressed out with the West Front. I turn to the East and say, Ming, I'm sorry. I supported myself into 2 meds. The intention was obviously to try and take Turfan. That was a mistake. I do not want to attack you. I'm interested in turning against Qing here, and we can get into a better position. I mean, look at these 2 Tokugawa fleets on the coast. I think this is a really great opportunity for me, you, and Tokugawa, and we can all attack Qing together. There's been these bounces up here in the northeast. Maybe those just remain bounces. Maybe Inuit finds the opportunity to push in. That's besides the point, because we will have almost the entire power surrounded. Just the 3 of us. So let's work together. And Ming is actually really happy to hear this. Ming says, yeah, absolutely. Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do for you. Since you approached me apologizing, being humble and willing to work together, I'm going to change my order. I'm going to have Turfan support Karakorum to hold. I say, yes, brilliant, thank you. And then in winter, I will build up, I will try to build something around here, and we can make some progress. Now, building something, again, means disbanding all 3 of these, but now at least it's looking like I can keep Karakoram, as long as Ming is telling me the truth. So a lot here is hinging on Ming's word, and Ming and I have not pressed a whole bunch. But Sejlin, I trust them. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. Sejlin looks like they're in a really powerful position here. It looks favorable to attack Qing with these 2 Tokugawa fleets on the coast. Let's give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? Worst that can happen, I lose another dot here, and then it's like, well, my game's kind of over. And hey, that's the way these stories go. When I was playing Pumpkin Cup, which recently ended, and I played Qing, I was the first power to die. It's just how it goes. I like playing powers that are a bit more fragile, but when they work out, it's really nice. I'm getting that feeling with Russia. I got that feeling with Qing, and I had a solo as Ottoman with that same idea. Just focus on expanding out as fast as you can, and if things go wrong in the early game, better luck next time. It happens. So that is the mentality I'm going into with the fall moves phase. Let's see what we got. Here we are. Okay. Let's look at Karakorum first here. The hold actually works. So Ming was telling me the truth. And I'm super happy to see that we have like this push in to go against Hohot. Not really sure what this is about, but Tokugawa manages to take Pyongyang. It was guaranteed so long as Ming didn't attack. I believe that's Fusan hidden there under the arrows. What else do we have? Qing is very sad to see this, right? And, Qing didn't really reply to my offer saying Karakoram goes to Turfan with Gobi's support. That's why I turned to Ming in the first place, and I'm happy I did. Okay. So, I decided not to convoy in, so that was truthful when I was talking with Sweden. Instead, I'm going to take Spitsbergen because I really need the dot, and I do not trust the Narva support Beskavin de Riga, so I never replied to that part. And I think even if I had replied to it, this would have been the same result. The only thing that's really striking to me here is Smolensk to Latgale here. I don't like that. That makes my tummy hurt. The south is exactly what I expected, except I had Astrakhan to Kabardia specifically because I thought there was a chance I could cut support here, and then I didn't hold. I was absolutely expecting Trebizond to move into Sea of Azov, and we have a bounce. We had a bounce here in spring. Let's do another bounce in fall, right? So what I was hoping for was that Astrakhan cuts Kabardia's support from Shapsburg into Kharkov. And this is kind of like this kind of makes sense to me because Kabardia certainly doesn't want to move into Kharkov, but I can attack it from Astrakhan or cut it. The only thing that was missing here is the Trebizond to Sea of Azov. As long as I held this unit, I would have been fine. If I had pushed Shaps here, I would have been fine, but I had to go for the Sea of Azov. Misplay. Shaps just walks into Kharkov, uncontested. Bakshiar is lost as well as Astrakhan. The Smolensk move sucks. England did not get into Christiana. Skagerrak supported it to hold. And this is something that isn't too much of a surprise to me, but it is disappointing. You could do Edinburgh to Vestland here and have much better results, but again, it's like, it's fall. I want a dot. Give me the dot in fall. Look at this. Saxony with support from Bremen actually captures Berlin, and that makes Gdansk unsuccessful to push over. Now, Luxon, Poland. If you're really going to build Fleet Wilno, Fleet Gdansk in winter here, then I don't know why Gdansk is moving to Berlin. Just like this massive line that seems to be obviously not going to work out, right? Like, this Lubeck to Copenhagen isn't even supported, so maybe there was some kind of lie here where Kiel is supposed to support Lubeck in, but that's not what's happening. Netherlands has got Sweden's back and Austria's back and is interested in fighting Poland. So the sides are beginning to form here. This almost looks arranged. It seems pretty likely by all of these neutral provinces around here, especially like Transylvania, that Poland and Ottoman are friends. I don't like that. It seems pretty obvious that Safavid and Ottoman are friends too. I don't like it. Ottoman is actually +5 here, even losing Tunis to Basil. Yeah, maybe it's an arranged trade, who knows. could be an arranged trade. I actually didn't ask about that, but looking at it again, it makes sense to be. So the East goes very well. The West and even the center with like Verk in danger now, not good. Not good at all. We have full retreat start, and you know, I go back and forth between just disband both of these, because then I do have a +1. If I disband both of these, I have a... Oh, no, sorry, I don't, because I got out Sea of Azov. So, since Sea of Azov got out, even if I disband both of these, I'm neutral. I no longer have any possibility to build. It's disappointing, very disappointing. But I'm looking at the map for a while, thinking to myself, I can have Astrakhan go to Kazan, and then Kazan can defend Verk, at least in the spring, from a Turkestan bounce, and I'll have to decide, is Turkestan going to Verk, or is Turkestan going to Elamili? I don't know. I'm at war with Safavid. I'm at war with Ottoman. I'm at war with Poland. It's probably time to come to peace with Sweden, but the press between us is awful. I'm at war with Qing. Ming, friend, and Inuit, neutral. So it's not good. I'm going to show you just a couple more maps here. I'm currently recording in the winter phase. The winter phase is just about to adjudicate, but I decided to go through with that retreat into Kazan, discard Bakhtiari. That's not working out. I'm scared to lose Moscow, but hey, at the least, Ottoman said, if you disband Sea of Azov, then we're good. We can have peace. Yay, that fills me with so much confidence. I'm sure that's the truth. It has to be the truth. Because I am the second lowest on the leaderboard at this point. So it has to be the truth. The only one doing worse than me is Athapaska, who is currently holding the same number of dots as they start the game with. So that's not ideal. Basil in Spain is retreating into London, so okay, yeah. Looks like Spain and England are at war with each other. Fine by me, I guess. There's a bit of a scuffle going on in the Caribbean, and not too much of a surprise to see. So going into winter start, I have one disband. I can choose to disband Norwegian Sea. It is a little bit out of place, and if I want to come to peace with Sweden, maybe reach out an olive branch. That's not going to happen, though. Our press between us, terrible. I'm going to give this a try, Sea of Azov disband, and then peace with Ottoman. I don't think it's realistic for Kharkov to be subordinate to Moscow, and that's the only dot left that I have that could reasonably be taken. I think it's an overplay. Because I have 4 armies around here, and there's a lot of adjacencies. It's not good. It's not good at all. At least if I come to peace with Sweden and Safavid does go for the Safavid manages to outplay me around here and put 2 units on Burke, I want Spitsbergen and Takara to help me out with that. Qing here finally approaches me with a bit of a peace offer, like, hey, yeah, remember when you asked me to attack Ming? Let's do that. I'm cool with that. We can do that now. And I just say, Ching, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. So that is the point that we're at in the game. It's not looking great, and I plan to have another video on this in the next year. If it's an uneventful year, I might wait until 1645 to record my next one, but we'll see what happens. Thank you very much for watching. My name has been Starcat Lazuli, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.